simple UI. Everything's easy to find, so sit back and relax. Cool. So we're gonna start with the base shape, or the face, which is this big green rectangle. I don't know if I mentioned what I'm gonna be drawing for you guys, but it's kind of a Halloween inspired punk zombie situation. I'm not too sure how you guys gonna react, but we'll see. Here I'm coloring in the nose with probably the wrong pen for the job, but I'm no professional, so so now we've got a circle for the nose. I'm gonna turn it into a semicircle, and this will allow me to change the perspective of the face, and also now I can center this circle or semicircle so I can create symmetry in the rest of the face. So now I'm adding the bottom shadow of the nose. So this would be pretty much where the nostrils would go. It's a very simplified version of a nose. So we're just gonna keep it within this semicircle shape and just blend it a little bit so it appears to be more 3D than it actually is. And so I'm blending it until it's getting to the point where I wanted with the airbrush tool. And there we have our base shape for the nose. Now we just need to add some nostrils to make it look like an actual nose. So I take like a dark blue color and I start drawing circles. They don't have to be symmetrical. This isn't that kind of drawing. Also, this is quite a fast drawing. I think it took me like 30 minutes to get through. So I cut those nostril circles in half just to mimic the shapes of the other semicircles. And then we're gonna try and blend them in so it gives it another bit of depth, or like a 3D effect. You can see me screwing up quite a bit, but I think I eventually get it right. There we see. So our nose is taking shape. We can see that it's a nose, hopefully. And now we're gonna add a nose ring, because this is a modern zombie character. I just want to give it like a little bit of a interesting look, I guess. So now I give it an opacity so I can just get rid of the parts that I don't want while keeping the other parts that I do. And yeah, the nose has come together. Next we're gonna give the face a bit more depth by adding a bottom shadow to the nose, and this will try and like almost complete zoom in to try and match it up a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect. I think if I had to go back and do this again, I would align it a little bit better. But for the purposes of just getting like something done, I'm pretty happy with it, I guess. So now we have the shadow shape. All I need to do now is blend it and give it an opacity that's a bit lower so it's not so harsh on the eyes. I mean, it could be a harsh shadow depending on the light source, but I like to have like a soft element to the drawing, because I am using lots of soft colors and like just the edges of everything look soft even though they are hard edges. So now we're just adjusting, adding a new layer so we can begin on the next shape, which will be the eye socket. As you can see, Procreate's got a lot of these different textured brushes. You can even get more. There are free brush packs out there. There are paid brush packs. It's really cool. You can follow a lot of artists and they create brush packs. So you can sort of get a feel for the textures they use in their art, and it's really helpful. But all of the brushes I'm using in this video are just the standard Procreate, but brushes I think in more hectic digital paintings or yeah, I would use more different types of brushes is what I'm trying to get at. But yeah, so I've created the sockets. I'm just doing minor adjustments to make sure that it blends in nicely. And now for the eye shape, I've decided to go for not quite eyes, but like dead crossed out cartoon eyes. I think it adds a little bit of a funny element, or like a comedic element. It's just not taking itself too seriously. It's also easier to draw, I guess. Not the reason why I did it, I promise. So I'm adding a little bit of shadow yet as well to give it keyword depth. So I've made it quite hard, so I'm gonna just trying to get that right shape. I don't want it to look too static, but I also don't want to make it look too forced, if that makes any sense. I'm trying to see what I can do with the cheeks. Sometimes I like to add a little bit of pink on the cheeks for some cuteness, I guess. I don't know. Or some blush. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just no hard shapes, just like a soft airbrush of pink, as to give the illusion of that there's like blood rushing underneath, which is pretty ironic. So now I'm gonna put these cheeks down, make them very light, just to so you can almost not see them. So our zombie's got some blush, some rosy cheeks. Here I'm just experimenting a bit with the brushes and seeing how I can add more textures and more contrast and depth to the character. It's all just a lot of experimenting and seeing what works, what doesn't work, and then just keeping consistent with the things that you've chosen, like shapes, shadows, lighting. Again, I'm not a professional, so it's probably not right, but I just go until I see what works in my eyes. Here I try to add a little bit of light to the nose, but I think it just ended up being a bit too distracting from the overall look of everything, and I ended up giving up on the standard like lighting and going for this like lined lighting. It also gives like the illusion that there's a circular ridge to the nose, which is quite cool, I guess. It kind of looks like an eyelash. So now we are going to add yet another shadow, but this time to the bottom section of the mouth, or where the mouth is going to go. This is just gonna do. It's risky because it could look like a 5 o'clock shadow, which it kinda does, but it can also just add a lot more dimension to everything. I think if I left it out, it would be a bit flat. Now you just gotta look for the right color, and once that's done, we just do what we've done for the rest of the shading, and that's just to change its opacity and edit with an airbrush eraser. Here it definitely looks like 5 o'clock shadow, but we're gonna fix it now. So now we've got some new shadows on the bottom, and after this we can start with the mouth, aka the most fun part consistency. Yeah, I'm creating drips around the mouth, just finding the right pattern and then just coloring it in. I wasn't happy with that shape, so. But yeah, I think I ended up going with the shape. Maybe looking at a few blood drops, but I think those distract from the look and feel too much. So we just decided to go with like one or two. So now we're gonna draw the teeth. The teeth will just be like a dog bony shape inside of the mouth shape. And you'll see what I'm gonna do now is create teeth from the dog bone shape. Cool, so as you can see, it's kind of like grimacing. We use a brush tool and create lines which give the illusion of teeth. I also use different angles on those lines to give the illusion of depth inside of the mouth. It gives kind of like a samurai jack aesthetic. Here I'm coloring in the teeth. Well, not coloring them in, I'm just shading them, I guess. Just so they don't look like two flat planes on this 3D looking image we've created. So everything blends in quite nicely. And then I just add some textures to the teeth, like holes, and removing some of them, just to, because I mean, some is not going to have perfect teeth, right? They don't get time to brush them and take care of them, knock out a few of them. Cool, I'm pretty happy with that. Everything's coming together, I guess. So, next on the agenda, we are going to add more cheek rosiness. Although it kind of looks like the puppet from Saw, which is pretty unfortunate now, looking back on it. So we're starting with ears now. Ears, super simple. I've decided to add stretches or tunnels as earrings. Since we have the septum piercing, I thought we would follow through on that modern theme, or modern punk theme. So that's why I've made the earlobes a bit wider than usual. I think it's also a very interesting shape, and it goes back to the mouth shape. So it has like a little bit of a golden thread there. Or I could be talking nonsense. So going with these bright whites for the accessories, and the eyes obviously, because this is what makes it stand out. And these are not visually very complicated shapes, so I think it's just really easy for your eye to digest. If I overuse the white, then on more complicated shapes, so I just duplicate the ear, because I'm feeling like the outer shape could benefit more from the symmetry, because if the outer shape is a bit more symmetrical, side look a bit more symmetrical because the silhouette is like the same, if that makes sense. I don't know. The spiked mohawk. Yeah, just pounding on that shadow to get that depth, and we're just hammering in this punk theme. I think once I got to the stage, I was like, let's just go for it. I could do like big hair, which could be cool. We're pretty much done with the character phase. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm still in the beginning phases of this channel, so we'll see what the upload schedule's gonna be like. I don't know. I don't want to put anything down in stone just yet, but it's quite fun making them, so I'm just gonna do them. And whoever watches them. So yeah, thanks for watching,